Now, as this political firestorm rages over riots across the country, it is Delhi which has become the site of a new battle. The BJP and the Aam Adami Party are accusing each other of links to Ansar, the prime suspect in the rioting. In Maharashtra, the MNS has now said that they will use loudspeakers across the state from the 3rd of May for Maha-Aartis. The Shiv Sena, on the other hand, is saying that the BJP is using the riots because there are elections taking place in several states over the next 12 months. Clearly, politics is now a major factor in fueling the communal divide. That is our top story and top talking point tonight.
Communal violence in the national capital. Rioters brandish swords, pistols and other arms, striking fear among Delhi's citizens for 3 hours on Saturday. Caught off guard, the BJP and the Aam Adami Party, the ruling parties at the centre and state, are busy with a blame game. The Aam Adami Party claims Ansar, the main suspect in the attack on the Hanuman Jayanti procession, is a BJP worker who campaigned for the Saffron Party in civic elections.
ये वो आदमी है जिसका नाम अंसार है और ये वो टोपी पहन के अंसार यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं और देखिए टोपी कितनी जम रही है इनके ऊपर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की टोपी लगा के जहांगीरपुरी के दंगों के तथाकथित मास्टरमाइंड अंसार.
The BJP on the other hand claims Ansar has links to Aam Adami Party.
Most of the people who are accused of riots, this riot and previous Delhi riots, they had or have direct and indirect relationship with Aam Adami Party. Therefore, Aam Adami Party is liable to respond to the nation.
Communal clashes and hate speech have gripped as many as 8 states over the last 1 week. In Mumbai, Raj Thakre's MNS is leading a campaign against the use of loudspeakers for Azan. The MNS has declared it will hold Maha-Aartis across Maharashtra using loudspeakers on the 3rd of May. The Shiv Sena is drawing a link, raising communal tensions and local elections in Delhi, Mumbai and other assembly polls.
बड़े शहरों में भी जिस तरह से दंगे का माहौल बन गया है या बनाया गया है, खास करके सत्ताधारी पार्टी की तरफ से, ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है. मुंबई में भी आपने यही तनाव पैदा किया है, किसी को पकड़कर. मुंबई में आपकी ताकत नहीं है तो आपने किसी को काम दिया है ये, और ये लाउड स्पीकर्स का मामला उठाया आप लोगों ने.
Interestingly, while the Sena and Aam Adami Party accused the BJP of divisive politics, the two parties did not sign an open letter written by opposition leaders including Sonia Gandhi, Sharad Pawar and Mamta Banerjee. In the letter, the opposition leaders had questioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi's silence on spiralling hate incidents, calling it official patronage of hate-mongers. The attack on Prime Minister Modi had prompted a sharp counter from BJP chief JP Nadda. He wrote an open letter of his own, saying Modi's development politics was being resisted by rejected parties. He accused the opposition of taking refuge in vote bank and divisive politics.
ये पूछना चाहूंगा कि क्या पीएफआई के लोगों को जो ऑन बुक्स लाए गए थे उनको छुड़ाने का काम सिद्धारमैया ने किया था कि नहीं किया था, इसकी जनता, कर्नाटक की जनता जवाब चाहती है. आतंकवाद के खिलाफ बोलते हो और आतंकवादियों को छोड़ते हो, अंदर से दोस्ती रखते हो और बाहर मुखौटा लेकर के चलते हो.
नड्डा जी की चिट्ठी का लबोलबाब यह है कि उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे, और हर बार जब इनकी कोई गलती की तरफ कोई उंगली उठाता है तो कहते हैं हम चुनाव जीत गए. ये कौन सा आर्गुमेंट है? चुनाव जीते हैं इसलिए सब कुछ माफ है. हम अपने जो फेलियर्स हैं उनको ढकने के लिए आप समाज को बांटते हो.
Is the spike in communal clashes linked to the big elections in states like Gujarat and Karnataka, as the opposition alleges? Or is the opposition playing vote bank politics, as the BJP claims? What's now clear is that hate speech and communal violence will remain a talking point in the run-up to the upcoming state elections. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions then tonight. Is this politics of divide and rule fueling riots, as the opposition alleges? Or is it vote bank politics, which the government says the opposition is playing? And do our netas ever really put harmony above hate? What does this spate of communal flare-ups tell us about the state of our politics? Joining me now in the studios is Shehzad Poonewala, the BJP's young spokesperson, Supriya Srinath of the Congress, its spokesperson, Saurabh Bharadwaj, AAP MLA and national spokesperson, Anand Dubey is spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. I want to start with you, Shehzad, first, because a very serious charge has been made today by the Aam Adami Party in its press conference, saying the prime accused, Ansar, in the latest Jahangirpuri riots, is seen along with your local candidates in the 2017 MCD elections, campaigning for them. Until now, you were claiming that Ansar was an Aam Adami Party supporter. The fact is, he was also a BJP supporter in 2017. Can you explain the photographs that I am about to show you on screen of Ansar, who is seen with BJP supporters? Do you agree that Ansar has a BJP link or not? I'll ask my producer to show those photographs of Ansar with BJP leaders.
So Rajdeep, let me begin by that, and I'm glad you came to that first. Here is that picture that Saurabh Bharadwaj did the press conference with, and he showed that Mr. Ansar, not Ansar Raza, was a supporter of one of the BJP candidates. He's absolutely right. Sangeeta Bajaj, candidate of 2017. This is Mr. Ansar.
Yes.
Now let me tell you that this lady has been taken into the Aam Adami Party in 2020 by Sanjay Singh. The very same Sanjay Singh has, this is the press release which says that all the Aam Adami Party BJP supporters of this lady, which included Ansar, have been taken into Aam Adami Party by Sanjay Singh, and therefore from 2020 onwards he is the member of Aam Adami Party, and therefore Mr. Saurabh Bharadwaj is absolutely right. ये टोपी बहुत अच्छी फिट होती है, ये बिल्कुल बढ़िया फिट होती है, और 2020 से ये टोपी आम आदमी पार्टी की पहनकर फिर वहां से दंगा कर रहा है. And apart from that, Saurabh Bharadwaj ji, please tell me which party did Tahir Hussain, the mastermind of Delhi riots in 2020, belong to? And by the way, Sir Rajdeep, when the Delhi police took action against this rioter Tahir Hussain, it was Mr. Amanatullah Khan. Here is the press the report. Amanatullah Khan comes out and says, 1 second, Saurabh, you'll get your time. This is Rajdeep's show. This show you'll get time. Mr. Amanatullah Khan comes out and says, Mr. Tahir Hussain is being victimized because he's a Muslim. No less than Sanjay Singh also does a press conference in favor of Tahir Hussain. And today the same Aam Adami Party ecosystem, when the narrative was that, oh, masjid pe pehle hamla ho gaya, that has been disproven. Then the narrative was that no, this guy is a poor scrap dealer. Wo narrative jab dhwast ho gaya. Then the third was ki reaction hua. There was an action by the Hindu side, then there was a reaction, and that reaction Ansar, Yunus and others took part in. That also fell flat because it was a peaceful yatra. Even the FIR says that, the CCTV footage says that, yes, they had weapons, action was taken, but they did not use the weapons.
One second.
Now to defend that, 1 second, 10 seconds, Rajdeep, to put the onus on Hindus, as we've seen, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal does not like Hindus, Kashmiri Hindus, he was laughing on them. To put the onus back on Hindus, he tried to deflect this, but in the process of deflection, Saurabh Bharadwaj scored a self-goal. Here is the press release showing that Mr. Ansar and the person who was patronizing Ansar, that is Sangeeta Bajaj, had joined the Aam Adami Party on January 2020.
So what you're saying, you're claiming, you're accepting, 1 minute, you're accepting that Ansar supported a BJP candidate in 2017. Yes. Your claim is that that candidate subsequently joined the Aam Adami Party and Ansar went along with that candidate.
And because that was what the Aam Adami Party has said, that Sangeeta Bajaj.
So you are accepting that Ansar was at one time a BJP supporter who has switched sides to the Aam Adami Party. Let him respond now.
2017 he was not rioting. Right now he is.
No. The fact is,
when he's an active member of AAP, he's rioting.
Whether he's an active member of AAP, let
let me just last point.
Let Saurabh Bharadwaj. No, you must not. You must let
all of them with Aam Adami
You must
Party.
let Saurabh now respond. Saurabh, you want to respond to what has been said? Saurabh Bharadwaj, please go ahead. Saurabh Bharadwaj. Can you hear me, Saurabh? Okay, we'll try and go back to Saurabh Bharadwaj in a moment. For some reason, his image seems to have frozen. We'll ask our producer to get Saurabh back online. In the meantime, let me turn for a moment to the Congress party, because Supriya Srinath, in this battle between AAP and the BJP over whether the rioters were aligned to one party or the other, I want to understand the Congress's position. Sonia Gandhi 2 days ago claims there's an apocalypse of hate that's spreading across the country, virtually accuses the BJP of fanning the communal flames. However, riots are taking place in Congress-ruled states like Rajasthan. And the fact is that law and order is a state subject. How do you want to respond? Is the Congress going to simply claim that whatever is happening in the country is only orchestrated by the BJP? Congress has nothing to do with any of it, even though riots have taken place in Congress-ruled states where the responsibility, the buck stops with your state government.
Rajdeep, thank you for the question. But first and foremost, I will answer on Delhi, and be rest assured I will answer on Rajasthan as well. Delhi saw riots in 2022. Delhi also saw riots in 2020. Assam and Mizoram were at war. Delhi has seen all kinds of violence. The police reports to the Union Home Ministry. Where does the buck for India's internal security stop? India's internal security, the buck stops with India's Home Minister. And he has miserably failed at his job. Because the reality is that not many people will raise this question. Delhi riots, the buck has to stop with Mr. Amit Shah. They can keep doing the shadow boxing between Aam Adami Party and the BJP, and the truth also be told is Mr. Kejriwal for the last 2 days has not tweeted or said a word about the riots. 2 days back he said he's spoken to the LG, there will be action taken. Forget about whose man he was, whether he was with the BJP or not, because if you are with the BJP, you are a saint. The moment you leave, you become a sinner, and it's vice versa. If you were to join them, aap Ganga naha kar aa gaye, wo bhul jaiye. The buck for internal security and the failure of internal security stops with India's Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has miserably failed at his job. That's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make, and I want to make this point more as an aggrieved citizen. You see the processions, state after state and site after site. Do you see the number of people participating there and the kind of people? Young children, young adults who should actually be gainfully employed and working are openly brandishing swords and pistols. You don't think this is an apocalypse of hate? You listen to some of the words they are using to incite. You listen to some of the words that the DJs are playing. And of course, blame lies on both sides. Taali ek haath se to nahi bajti hai. I am simply saying, look at the kind of language that these crowds are using. You will be put to shame because we can't discuss that language on national television.
I'm going to play a video.
Point I want to make
just a minute, ma'am. You made several points. They need to be...
1 second. Rajdeep, let me finish last point.
Yes.
Last point, 10 seconds. Let me finish my last point, please. My last question that I want to raise before people of this country is, ponder over one line. Who benefits from this politics of hate? Who benefits when there are riots in this country? Who benefits when there is a Hindu-Muslim violence in this country? The answer is that the ruling BJP, and that is where your cue and your question takes me to.
Okay, you've raised several questions which Shehzad deserves to answer. Before that, before you respond, Shehzad, I'm playing a video. This is a video outside a mosque during this peaceful yatra, as you're calling it. Look at the slogans, and I want you to please tell me, are these slogans the kind of slogans that should be played during Ram Navami? Are they religious slogans in any form, or are they deliberately provocative, insightful, hateful? Producer, can we please play the video that we have accessed of the kind of slogans that took place during this yatra outside a mosque? Please play them. We'll try and get that video. Yes, listen it. देश में रहना होगा तो जय श्री राम कहना होगा. These are the slogans during, this is peaceful protest, this is Ram Navami, this is Hindutva. I want to clearly get this clear. When you say, yes, stone pelting, terrible, all of them have been arrested. Ansar has been arrested, Sonu Sheikh has been arrested. At the moment, against VHP supporters and against Bajrang Dal supporters, Section 188, all bailable. Almost as if it is completely one-sided. I want to know from you, therefore, do you approve of these slogans?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Rajdeep, the law doesn't approve of any kind of incitement of violence or incitement of hatred.
Yes.
That is the law. And I'll speak from the legal position. And I liked your tweet. You had tweeted very insightfully that Mahatma Gandhi would never have proved his Hindutva or Hinduness by chanting Jai Shri Rams loudly outside a mosque. I agree with you, actually. But Mahatma Gandhi would never have also allowed lies to be said that a mosque par Bhagwa Jhanda fehraya ja raha tha. Mahatma Gandhi, no matter what would be the provocation, including the shouting of Jai Shri Ram in the loudest voice, with these kinds of slogans also, would never justify the use of violence or stockpiling of weapons on the top of a mosque. And Rajdeep, for every one video you show me, I have several videos, just a screenshot of this video. A Muslim mob is going outside a mandir. And the slogan there was that Deen ke sipahi hai, bulau kya Ali ko. This kind of slogan. One second, I'm not justifying. I am saying that at that point of time, the fundamental question we need to ask, why did no Hindu pelt a stone on this Muslim crowd? And there are several videos like this I have. All I'm trying to say is that if this was illegal, action will be taken on this. But that can't be cover fire in the name of vote bank and appeasement politics to justify what people like Ansar do and the stockpiling of weapons. And when Congress comes out and when action is taken on Khargone, I'm just showing you one hypocrisy. This Congress party spokesperson has said so much. Karoli, the main accused Matloob, is still absconding. Booked by them, still absconding. Today, it's been 2 weeks. When action is taken in Khargone, they tweet for the rioters of Khargone, not one tweet for the victim Shivam, who was in ICU for so many days. And Madam Supriya Shrinate ji, let me just read out. Ahmedabad 1969, Jalgaon 1970, Moradabad 1980, Delhi 83, Bhiwandi 1984, Ahmedabad 1985, Delhi 1984, Bhagalpur 1989, Mumbai 1993. By the way, Rajdeep knows you blame Shiv Sena for the Mumbai riots, didn't she? Didn't the Congress blame Shiv Sena?
I just want to stop you while you're on a roll.
Today, 10,000 people have been killed. 1 second. Shehzad, I deserve 10 seconds.
No, Shehzad,
no,
1 minute.
It's 3 versus 1. It's 3 versus 1.
No, it's not 3 versus 1.
Shiv Sena is not with us. But 10 seconds. Rajdeep, 10 seconds, I'll finish. Rajdeep, today I just want to ask one question. What is this virus of hypocrisy that Supriya Shrinate, whose party came up with the Shri Krishna report, blaming the Shiv Sena for the 1993 riots in which, by the way, 872 Muslims, and most of them Muslims died, 872 people died. Today she is in alliance with them, lecturing us on communal rights. In 1984, when you protected Sajjan Kumar and Jagdish Titler, the High Court in 2018 said that you extended political patronage, did not allow cases to be filed, and allowed it to be justified at the highest level when the Prime Minister got up and said कि बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो थोड़ी धरती हिलती है. सुप्रिया श्रीनेत 100 चूहे खाकर सोनिया गांधी हज को चली.
Okay, very strong words, Shehzad. Just a fact. Riots in this country have taken place at various times during various parties. On the 29th of March, the Ministry of Home Affairs said in the Lok Sabha there are as many as 3,399 cases of communal or religious rioting in the country between 2016 and 2020. So there has been a history, whether the BJP has been in power or the Congress has been in power, where rioting has taken place. So it's not as if this... Can I just ask you one more question before
Can you tell us the division of those riots in Congress rule states?
It is across the country.
No, tell us the Congress rule states.
It is not just
you will come to know it's Rajasthan. It is Congress rule states where these riots take place. They are the practitioners of divide and rule politics. All of these riots took place under Congress's watch. The 10 of them where 10,000 people lost their lives. And they defended likes of Sajjan Kumar. Jagdish Titler is a permanent invitee of the Congress party. And the Congress party comes here and tells us that we are the ones who are for communal affection.
Before I go back to Saurabh Bharadwaj, who did not get a chance to respond to you, just a small question based on Supriya Shrinate, just a minute, based on what Supriya Shrinate just said. Supriya Shrinate said right through this, the Home Minister of the country is silent.
Yes.
Sources tell us that the Home Minister wants strict action. Prime Minister is silent. The Prime Minister, who otherwise gives his man ki baat on various issues, is silent when it comes to communal violence. I want to know, are these because the very forces who have brought you to power include the stormtroopers of the Bajrang Dal? So there is limits to what action you can actually take against such groups. So the Prime Minister who talks about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas cannot beyond the point act against his own. Yes or no?
Rajdeep, I would rather have the Home Minister and the Prime Minister work and make their actions speak louder than words than have the Prime Minister stand up and say कि बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती थोड़ी हिलती है. And they always gave comforting words to the Muslims. But the fact is that if Miss Supriya Shrinate can tell me who was the main accused in the Mumbai riots according to the Shri Krishna report and who is that person currently in alliance with Supriya Shrinate, if you have so much concern for minority rights and secularism in this country, today I challenge you to tell me, Rajdeep is from Maharashtra, he knows who your party was alleging was behind the Mumbai riots. Rajdeep, please tell her to take a position on that.
Okay, Supriya Shrinate, you want to respond when Sonia Gandhi today takes the moral high ground, therefore, on communal politics. You have tied up with the party whom you once accused to be communal, which is i.e. the Shiv Sena, whose role in the Mumbai riots you targeted. The question is therefore, because of political compulsions or political opportunism, no one can really take the high moral ground when it comes to fighting communalism. Then I'll come to you, Saurabh. Let Supriya respond, because that's a serious charge that Shehzad makes.
No, I do hope, because I did not intervene in the vitriolic hatreds, venom-spewing statements of the BJP spokesperson. I hope he is not going to respond to mine as well. Mahatma Gandhi was the greatest practicing Hindu ever on the face of this earth. RSS, your political ideologue, killed him. Don't go too far away. Don't invoke Gandhi. Gandhi के हत्यारों के साथ तो आप आज भी खड़े हैं. उन लोगों के साथ खड़े हैं जिन्होंने महात्मा गांधी को गंदी गंदी गालियां दी और जेल से निकल के कहा उनको कोई पश्चाताप नहीं है. You want to invoke Gandhi? Stop it. Stop the hypocrisy. I have a question to ask. Prime Minister को बिल्कुल काम करना चाहिए. He should not waste his time on Twitter tweeting on a broken little finger of a cricketer. He does not open his word on hatred that is engulfing this country and riots that are happening. I want to also ask one thing. एक भी नेता का एक भी बच्चा इन राइट्स में दिखता है आपको? वो बच्चे तो विदेशों में पढ़ते हैं. ये हमारे आपके बच्चे हैं जो बेरोजगार हैं, जिनके पास नौकरी नहीं है, जो गुर्बत और महंगाई झेल रहे हैं. माँ बाप एक रोटी कम खा के बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं, उनको दंगाई बना रही है भाजपा. I also want to ask you, action taken. You believe bulldozer is an action that elected governments are expected to take? Because if that is the truth, you want to keep the judiciary of this country under lock and key, and no, that is not acceptable. You took 2.5 months and you still did not approach the Supreme Court of this country, despite bail being granted to Ashish Mishra, and that's what the Supreme Court called you out for in Uttar Pradesh. You are telling me you take swift action. 2.5 महीने लग गए, आपने SLP का review file नहीं किया. और अंत में मैं सिर्फ एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ. दिल्ली पुलिस को VHP ने धमकाते हुए कहा, अगर आपने हमारे लोगों को छुआ तो हम दिखाएंगे आपको उसका क्या मतलब होता है. Today a man is driving without a license and without a helmet, and if he is held up, people will come and torch and come and surround a police station and start sloganeering. I don't think you represent Hindus. You don't represent me. You don't represent my faith. My faith teaches me to be tolerant. It teaches me to be peaceful, and most of all, it teaches me to love. What you are spreading in the name of my faith are people who wear the saffron robe like Bajrang Muni and Yati Narsinganan, exploit my faith, exploit the reality that Hinduism stands for, and you talk about threatening and raping women. Is that what you're going to say? You don't represent me, you don't represent my faith, you are the Dhongi Hindus that I call you.
Okay, let Saurabh Bharadwaj, who unfortunately we had lost his audio. No, please let Saurabh. Ma'am, you must let Saurabh Bharadwaj. He has not been able to speak. We had lost his audio. Saurabh, when we started off this debate, I raised the question of one of the main accused in the Delhi riots being allegedly linked by you to the BJP. Shehzad Poonewala claims that he is now with the Aam Adami Party. He has switched sides from the BJP in 2017 to AAP in 2020. Are you denying that? Are there no links between Ansar and AAP? Is the reality that all these are local gundas who go with whichever party is in power? 2017, they were in power in MCD. 2020, you're in power in the Vidhan Sabha.
Rajdeep, this man named Ansar, who is being presented as a mastermind of this communal violence, has nothing to do with Aam Adami Party. The pictures which we have shown in the press conference are of 2020, which is when BJP was contesting against Aam Adami Party. That was the last election we had in Delhi, and he is roaming around with their candidate Sangeeta Bajaj, and he's campaigning from door to door.
They are claiming that Sangeeta Bajaj. They are claiming that Sangeeta Bajaj has since joined the Aam Adami Party.
I have the press release.
No, I don't think so, and I don't believe it.
Second, if I show it to him, will he quit politics?
Second thing, Rajdeep, I'm talking about a very basic thing. I think any crime committed across the world, the first thing which an investigating agency looks at is who is the primary beneficiary of this crime. If somebody gets killed, some people investigating agency wants to find out who is getting benefit from this. Now, if there is a communal violence in 7 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, who is the beneficiary of these communal violence? Which is the party which was prepared with its Twitter handles, with its WhatsApp messages, how to take political advantage of this communal violence? It is only and only BJP. I think
one minute. That would suggest that the BJP is conspiring and pre-planning these riots. What have we seen? We have seen provocative slogans. We have seen provocative slogans. We have seen processions taking place even though they were not. But there has been stone pelting. 1 minute, Shehzad, from the Muslim mohallas as well. Are you saying all this is planned by the BJP?
Can I complete? Rajdeep, can I complete? Can I just complete? I'll give you one example. Rajdeep, you go out with an unlicensed revolver, you will not get bail for 3 months. You will be booked under Arms Act. You will get more than 10 years of rigorous imprisonment. Police was present there. Thousands of local gundas got collected there. They were there with nangi talware, unlicensed guns, desi kattas. Why didn't police book any of them? Why were they not arrested? If the stones were collected on the roof of a masjid and they were local Muslim gundas near the masjid, what was police doing? Why did police not arrest them? That means the police basically connived and ensured that the danga happens. Now, do you think that police is basically conniving with Aam Adami Party? Police is doing things on the script of Aam Adami Party? Obviously, no. Police is performing the script of BJP. This is scripted by BJP because it only helps BJP promote its agenda of hatred. I think anybody who understands politics in this country knows this, and I rest my case.
Can I? Okay. One minute, Shehzad. There is one more guest, Anand Dubey, and I want to bring down 1 minute. I will let you answer. Anand Dubey, spokesperson of Shiv Sena. आप बताइए शिव सेना का क्या रुख है? क्योंकि जैसे आज शहजाद कह रहे हैं कि आप पर आरोप लगता था कि आप दंगाई पार्टी है, आपने मुंबई के दंगों में हिस्सा लिया, आज आप कांग्रेस के साथ हैं। आज जब कांग्रेस कहती है कि देश के माहौल में एक नफरत फैलाई जा रही है, शिवसेना उस चिट्ठी पर दस्तखत नहीं करता। शिवसेना कह रही है ये सब चुनाव के मद्देनजर हो रहा है। क्या शिवसेना का कहना है ये सब प्री प्लानिंग है? क्या आप लोग भी कह रहे हैं, क्योंकि कल तक तो आप बीजेपी के साथ थे, आज आप कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी ये पूरे दंगे प्लान कर रही है?
राजदीप जी प्रणाम। अब तक बीजेपी क्या करती आई है कि समाज में अगर सद्भावना बिगाड़ना है तो गिरिराज सिंह जी, नरोत्तम मिश्रा जी या योगी आदित्यनाथ जी जैसे नेताओं के बयानों से काम चला लेते थे, लेकिन इस बार उन्होंने एक नया प्रयोग किया है। अब चूंकि केंद्र में पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार है, मध्य प्रदेश, गुजरात, कर्नाटक, हरियाणा, उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, यहां पर इनकी अच्छी खासी सरकार है, तो इन्होंने क्या किया कि इनको भोंगे साउंड से, हनुमान चालीसा से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। इन्होंने एक नया प्रयोग किया है कि महाराष्ट्र में महाविकास आघाड़ी की सरकार को डिस्टर्ब करना है, और जो इनके इस पृथ्वी पर सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन अगर कोई इनका है तो शिवसेना है। अब शिवसेना से टीस है इनको, अब शिवसेना को डिस्टर्ब किया जाए तो शिवसेना को डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए इन्होंने एक ऐसी पार्टी का चयन किया है जिसके पास एक विधायक और एक नगर सेवक है। पार्टी का कोई अस्तित्व तो नहीं है। पार्टी पहले कोई और विचारधारा लेकर चलती थी, पार्टी फिर कोई और विचारधारा लेकर चलने लगी। तो यह एक ऐसी प्लानिंग है कि शिवसेना को महाविकास आघाड़ी की सरकार को कमजोर किया जाए। अगर इनको साउंड, भोंगे या इनको हनुमान चालीसा से मतलब होता तो गुजरात में बंद करवा देते, मध्य प्रदेश में बंद करवा देते, पूरे देश में इनकी सरकार है, गृह मंत्री इनके हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आदेश है, एक नियम ले आते, यह बात खत्म हो जाती। लेकिन मनसा यह नहीं है। जिस दिल्ली में, जिस हमारे देश की नाक दिल्ली में इतना बड़ा दंगा हो रहा है और सेंट्रल एजेंसी के जो इंटेलिजेंस हैं, जो दिल्ली पुलिस है, उन्हें पता तक नहीं चलता कि इतने बड़े तादाद में पत्थर आएंगे, इतने बड़े तादाद में लोग हिंसा करेंगे। तो यह सारी चीजों को देखते हुए लगता है कि बीजेपी इस समय देश में बेरोजगारी का मुद्दा है,
क्या शिवसेना भी जो सोनिया गांधी ने कहा है कि नफरत का माहौल फैलाया जा रहा है, क्या शिवसेना मानती है कि नफरत का माहौल फैलाया जा रहा है? क्या आप उसमें कांग्रेस की उस बात से आप इत्तेफाक रखते हैं?
राजदीप जी आप एक बहुत ही वरिष्ठ पत्रकार हैं। हम लोग बहुत ही कम उम्र से आपको देखते सुनते आए हैं। आज का जो माहौल है देश में, यह जानबूझकर क्रिएट किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि जो जेन्युइन मुद्दे हैं, जो गंभीर विषय इस समय देश के नौजवानों के सामने है, हमारी माताओं बहनों के सामने है, किसानों के सामने है, उससे कैसे सबका माइंड डाइवर्ट किया जाए। आप एक बात बताइए, इतना बड़ा पूर्ण बहुमत, लोग तरसते हैं जीवन में कि हमें एक बार पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार मिल जाए, इतना बड़ा मैंडेट आपके पास है, इतनी बड़ी इंटेलिजेंस आपके पास है, पूरे दुनिया में हमारा नाम होता है, और आप ये नहीं पकड़ पाते हैं कि कहां दंगा होने वाला है, कहां पत्थर पड़ने वाले हैं। आप ऐसे बातें इतनी बड़ी बड़ी करते हैं कि
लोगों को भटकाने की कोई
आप विश्व गुरु बनने निकले हैं।
No, Shehzad, you know what is being suggested? Shashi Tharoor said this the other day also. These are weapons of mass distraction. Hijab one day, halal next day, third day you'll have azan. Now you have virtually riots during Ram Navami, Hanuman Jayanti. All designed to distract from the real issues. The BJP wants to keep the communal pot boiling. That's the broad point that everyone seems to be making. I want your response to
that. So there are certain specific questions and certain...
No, you respond to
there
this.
There are 6 questions I have noted.
You respond to this
I'm responding. If this is a okay, I'm starting with that.
Weapon of mass distraction.
But let me address the other questions too. Weapons of mass distraction, hijab and azan, all right? So, dear Shashi Tharoor ji, your government in Maharashtra with the Shiv Sena, Aditya Thackeray came out and said, nothing doing, only uniforms in our classrooms, no hijab. Kishori Pednikar also said that. Kerala, where he is an MP from, they said student police cadet will only wear hijab. In 2015, the Supreme Court said hijab is not essential to Islam in the AIPMT case. Then when the court has ruled on it and when the matter went to the Karnataka court, I think Mr. Srinivasan is a Congress leader. I think Mr. Kapil Sibal is a Congress leader. Why did they go and make it a national issue? Their leaders like Mukarram Khan in Karnataka were saying, hum haath kaat denge, boti kar denge. And now it has been seen in the Karnataka High Court order that there were unseen hands trying to engineer social unrest, and it started off with the CFI making this an issue. Otherwise, there was no issue in Karnataka. Point number one. No, Rajdeep, there are 3 people. Let me answer the questions. Please, you have to have some patience. Saurabh ji, and
all these states, it is your government.
Yes, I'm coming to that.
All these states, whether it is Delhi, the police reports to the Home Minister, Karnataka is your government.
Collectively, there are a lot of issues to address. You
go ahead, please. My basic point is the charge which is being made, you cannot deflect the hand on the opposition.
But you can't. Let me answer their questions. The opposition leaders, I respect them. Saurabh ji said that, look, Sangeeta Bajaj के साथ ही अंसार जो है वो कैंपेन कर रहा था। सौरभ जी, ये आपका प्रेस रिलीज है जनवरी 20th 2020, उसमें संजय सिंह जी की फोटो है, संगीता बजाज है और वहां पे पूर्व निगम प्रत्याशी संगीता बजाज भी पार्टी में शामिल हुई। ऐसे आपके आम आदमी पार्टी के लोगों के ट्वीट्स भी है और उनके साथ उनके समर्थक भी ज्वाइन किए। तो आई एम करेक्ट ऑन फैक्ट। नाउ यू टेल मी दैट संगीता बजाज, जिसका समर्थक इसको बता रहे थे, इज शी विथ यू और नॉट? एंड प्लीज से इट, एंड इफ यू लाई देन यू हैव टू पब्लिकली apologize tomorrow. One second, now let me complete my point. So please, you will get to answer.
You're saying she's not in your party, am I clear?
No,
you're saying neither she nor Ansar is in your party.
Sangeeta Bajaj is not in his party. Sangeeta Bajaj. No, he's changing the goalpost. Ask him about, he just said Sangeeta Bajaj, now he's changing goalpost. No. Rajdeep, you know.
Ansar is in BJP.
Sangeeta Bajaj की बात हो रही है. Please, Rajdeep, you're a fair anchor. Please tell him to say Sangeeta Bajaj का नाम लिया था इसने पहले.
Okay.
I don't know about Sangeeta Bajaj. Who is Sangeeta Bajaj? But Ansar is in BJP.
She's been taken in your party, your press release. I'm showing you the press release on the channel, and I'll tweet the link after the show.
No, I don't know.
Okay, I can open it and show it to him.
Okay, so we can continue to dispute whether
BJP is the party.
Let's move on to the other point.
Okay, you're saying she
fake press release of Kashmiri's teachers also.
Arey Baba, this is the Aam Adami Party
you
website.
made your point.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, let's move on. The central question I'm asking is, we are in a situation where in state after state, many of them BJP ruled, some opposition ruled, the slightest instance is resulting in a lava of communal flare-ups.
Yes.
Are you going to distance yourself entirely? At the end of the day, we have elected Prime Minister Modi. We have elected Prime Minister Modi twice to ensure sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas. The fact is, we do not want to see processions with the kind of slogans taking place. We don't want to see stone pelting. That's not the India we want to see.
Rajdeep, whether somebody makes a slogan which is provocative or not, the reaction cannot be justified by saying because there was a provocative
slogan. Both are terrible.
No.
Unacceptable.
One second. Let's be clear about one thing, Rajdeep. You may say something provocative to me. I can take recourse in law. But if I justify me slapping you because you made a provocative slogan, that is not
violence unacceptable. Violence unacceptable.
Violence is unacceptable.
Hate speech unacceptable.
Will be decided by a court of law, not by your subjective interpretation.
Are you telling me Yati Nishchalanan is not engaging in hate speech?
upon? And is the
What is the acting upon?
One second.
Most of them get
Rajdeep, now you're making a very dangerous argument. Sorry. Yati Narsingh Anand made a hate speech. Is that the reason why Shivam was beaten up and attacked? Is that the reason why Delhi violence took place? If that is the case, this is the reaction that you're justifying the reaction given
I not justified
by Yati Narsingh Anand. Then you should start justifying Gujarat because of Godhra.
No.
That is not the kind of argument you can
I
make.
have never justified any form of violence or hate speech.
You said Yati Narsingh Anand. Was action not taken on Yati Narsingh Anand?
What is the action? He's back.
If the court given
He's
bail,
back again speaking with the same impunity.
So you should take it to the courts of law.
But these are all people who have been foot soldiers of the Sangh Parivar at some stage or the other. Yes or no?
It was 3 versus no. Yati Narsingh Anand.
I'm asking you.
No, then you will, by that logic, when I'm showing proof of Ansar being part of the Aam Adami Party, you're saying it's disputed, but somebody who has nothing to do with my party is from my party.
Because Ansar has been seen in BJP processions and our processions.
Sangeeta was in Aam Admi Party and he is denying, and tomorrow when he gets proven wrong, he should quit politics.
Okay.
Now, let me come to the larger point, Rajdeep.
Last point.
Last point. Supriya ji said, Mahatma Gandhi के पद चिन्हों पर आप नहीं चल सकते. गोडसे के आप जो है अनुयायी है. गोडसे का जो सबसे बड़ा समर्थक है बाबूलाल चौरसिया is in Madhya Pradesh Congress. By the way, point number 1. Point number 2, Mahatma Gandhi spoke about cow protection. Who's cutting calves in Kerala? Mahatma Gandhi spoke about Ram Rajya. Who calls it communal? Mahatma Gandhi was the one who said, hey Ram, and today you denied the existence of Lord Ram. You wanted to break Ram Setu and you were against Ram Mandir. And today you're saying you're on the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi never did this kind of vote bank appeasement and never said there are Muslim enclaves in which a Hindu yatra can't go peacefully.
Mahatma Gandhi never said,
Mahatma Gandhi never
देश में रहना होगा तो जय श्री राम बोलना होगा. For God's sake, do not bring Mahatma Gandhi down to this level.
Mahatma Gandhi, for God's sake, did not say that because somebody said Jai Shri Ram bolna hoga, somebody else who's innocent should be attacked, and you come out and justify it and say that the stockpiling of weapons and talwar and tamancha is justified in that case. And last point, Rajdeep.
Yes.
She said that bulldozer se karwai hogi. Bulldozer se karwai jab hui Madhya Pradesh mein, it's been few days. They have the stalwart lawyers in their party, not one of them went to challenge it. And Karoli mein the mukhya Aropi Matloob is still on the run. We take action in Madhya Pradesh, they have a problem. We take action of NSA in Delhi, they have a problem. They cry for terrorists like Batla House terrorists, they cry for Afzal Guru, they cry for Yaqub Memon. But when we take action on rioters, they who don't take any action on rioters come out and lecture us. And if Khargon action is wrong, I challenge you, Supriya Shrineth, why doesn't any of your leader, instead of giving television bites, go to court and challenge it and prove us wrong? They don't go to court. They run theories and propaganda. Okay. They spill Hindu hatred. Is spilling Hindu hatred all right? Saying Hindutva is equal to ISIS, is it right?
So you're saying,
defined by the Supreme Court of India.
Supriya Shrineth, you want to respond that your party is guilty of spreading
Rajdeep,
Hindu
can I
hatred.
please come in?
The word, no, 1 minute. That you're accused, long time you've been accused of Muslim appeasement. Now you're being accused of Hindu hatred. A final word.
You know, I find his accusations, his body language, his vitriolic venom spewing, the way he's speaking is exactly what I'm opposed to. We could have had a civil debate, but look at his body language and look at
no personal comments. Let's not get into body language.
Including the anchor. Forget about that.
Madam, you have the worst
reputation please, as a panelist. Make your final point. Please answer my question. I asked you a question. Forget Shehzad body language.
Which is not provocative. Don't get provoked.
Actually, not so gentleman, to please keep quiet and offer me the courtesy that I did.
Why do you get so provoked?
No, Shehzad, let her finish. This is the problem. Shehzad, let her finish. No, Shehzad, you're being unfair. Let her finish.
Do not speak before me and over me.
Are you the ruler of this country?
No, just a minute. Let her respond now.
Answer on facts.
Ma'am, answer my question. I asked a question. Answer it.
Answer on facts.
No, let her answer the question.
Yes,
go ahead.
Let's come to Rajasthan. Where's the Karoli
Supriya
accused?
Shrineth, the charge, final charge, Hindu hatred, Muslim appeasement.
Who does it benefit? Who do these charges benefit is the very basic question that three of us on this show have raised. जब हिंदू मुसलमान के दंगे होते हैं, जब ये नफरत फैलाई जाती है, जब यति नरसिंहानंद और बजरंग
Who won the 1984 general election after Rajiv Gandhi said those words and after the Sikh Narsangh, who won the 1984 elections?
इतनी तो शर्म करो.
Who won the 1984 elections, Supriya Shrineth? If your hypocrisy has taken a break, who won the elections in 1984?
वो छुपाने लायक भी नहीं रहेगी शो के बाद. The problem
Supriya
with you
Sinha,
is
you know, your personal
cannot
commentary,
win with
the
the
problem
power of
with
your
you
argument.
and your
have-
party
I am
win
now-
is
by
that you have,
speaking over the
you have no
others.
answers on
Go
facts.
ahead,
Where is
be
Mr.
my
Roli
guest.
main
You
accused? Why
bloody
haven't you gone to court for
perpetrator of
Kargon?
hate and
Why
violence.
haven't you
That's
taken
what
any of
you
these
are.
actions on the
Actually,
Okay,
right
that's
now,
it.
in the
That's
studio
it.
as well.
Shehzad Poonewala, Supriya Sinha, Mr. Bharadwaj, Mr. Anand Dubey. I was worried that this debate would spiral out of control. I'm glad it did not till the very end when certain personal attacks were made. But by and large, we live in troubled times, my friends. This is a country at the moment on the edge of a volcano where the slightest provocation can result in an eruption. I maintain that those who are responsible for hate speech and those who are responsible for violence must be prosecuted, arrested, prosecuted, and if necessary, convicted and put in the same jail cell. It is important to set out exemplary punishment. Today, Yogi Adityanath has said that all processions will have to take official permission, can only follow traditional rituals. He has to be even-handed, ensure that the law and order is even-handed across the country. The law doesn't recognize Hindu or Muslim. The law must ensure that everyone who is responsible for these communal flare-ups are punished and punished with exemplary punishment and fast-tracked. This country has bigger issues to deal with. We don't want the politics of grievance. We want the politics of aspiration. We don't want the politics of religious identity. We want to see the politics of genuine economic growth. The young of this country, my friends, deserve better. And you and I need to decide enough is enough, enough of divide and rule. Rise above it, rise above prejudice, and let's build a better India together. Think about it.